to ensure that there are no pending bills going forward. No new pending bills are created because they are out of they're illegal, they're against the law. They're just being accommodated. We are stretching the law to accommodate them, but ideally they should not be there. So what is the governor doing to make sure that when he comes here next, he will tell us, he has this balance, but he has not incurred any new. So we don't dig a hole to fill another hole.
Governor?
Chair, through Chair, is by going strictly by budget. How the budget is made, we should just go with the budget. That is the only way where we can ensure that we'll be paying the pending bills and also do some other roads. And at the same time, though, because the budget of this financial year is just about to end, but in the future, in fact, we should stop even doing new projects and concentrate with the pending bills first, so that we can sanitize the pending bills and then we move on. But because the budget is already gone, so we have to abide by what the budget.
I think what you
and concentrate more on revenue. Also, so that's why I'm doing new projects like rice. Already I'm doing price projects so that to increase our own revenue. And also trying to go to also make Kenya Revenue Board so that we can enhance our own source revenue.
Fine, let's proceed. We shall demonstrate why your strategies might not be fulfilled. So we have made our directives on pending bills. On receipts, we had said earlier that issues of receipts we shall deal with under the receiver of revenue report. So 8.1, 8.2, and 8.3, all those are receiver of revenue related issues. The next matter there is on budgetary control and performance. And this is where I want to demonstrate to you that you have a budget of 7 billion, but only realize 4.7 billion. You're going to end up with pending bills because you make plans, annual development plans on the basis of 7 billion, but then you realize 4 billion. So that's, you will never solve your problems as long as you continue over budgeting. And I think Senator Mtata and my colleagues, we must also reflect on how to put a brake on disbursements when those pending bills are there. We have not taken it seriously. We are leaving it to the governors to decide, and they are not doing it. You've seen how he uses pending bills. Instead of sending mchango kwa matanga, he uses county funds. Governor, just if someone is bereaved, give them a contribution from your pocket. Stop bribing them with pending bills. Yeah. So if you leave it to them, they'll use it as a tool for welfare and a tool for grievance. I think we must say that when a county's stock of pending bill exceeds a certain threshold, then even further disbursement should not be allowed. 1 billion here, 1.2 billion, is 25% of your revenue, isn't it? Almost 25%, or say 20%. Why should you continue giving money to a county where 20% is pending bills? You know, you should only give with a view to clearing that outstanding debt. And I think that's part of what the Ledama or the Senate motion intends to achieve. Let's go to the issues of lawfulness and effectiveness. The first issue on HR and planned staff recruitment. Auditor General, is this resolved? Unplanned staff recruitments?
Chair, this was not resolved.
What was the key issue here? Hiring of new staff was done without planning and approval.
That was basically the issue.
And what did the governor respond on this, just to be efficient? Governor, you are hiring without a plan and without approval.
The recruitment was done to address the needs from the departments that required staff to enable of efficient and effective services. This was occasioned by opening of new health facilities unforeseen during the budget making period. And
Governor, let me stop you. Looking at the time, and we might not go far. Now, we have your written response here. Where is the, do you agree with the Auditor General that hiring was done without planning and approval?
I agree with the auditor chairperson, and in future we have to be budgeting, and in fact at the moment there's a resolution which was made by account assembly. We are no more employing unless we budget.
So this one, you agree with the Auditor General?
Yes.
All you can say is that you are putting in place improvement, measures to improve.
Yeah, we are putting measures to improve.
So we agree, we also agree with the Auditor General. We shall pronounce ourselves appropriately on that. Irregular staff acting positions. I think this is a matter we started off with. Auditor General, this one you have to read.
Thank you, Chair. Irregular staff acting positions. During the year under review, the positions of County Chief Officer, Finance and Economic Planning, Job Group S, and the County Chief Officer, Public Works, Housing, Roads, Transport and Infrastructure, Group S, were vacant, and 2 directors performed the roles in acting capacities with effect from 25th November 2020 and 24th February 2022, respectively. However, the essential documents for acting appointment, which include draft indent for advertisement of the vacant posts and a seniority list of the officers, including an account of the performers, were not forwarded to the County Public Service Board as required before the appointment, contrary to Section C14(4) of the Taita-Taveta County Human Resource Management Policy and Manual, which states that all recommendation for acting appointments in Job Group P and above shall be accompanied by a draft indent for advertisement of the vacancy and shall be forwarded to the County Public Service Board. It was also noted that the acting County Chief Officer of Finance and Economic Planning has been acting in his post for a period exceeding the permitted 6 months, contrary to Chapter 4.31 of the County Government of Taita-Taveta Recruitment and Succession Policy, which provides that an officer may be appointed in acting capacity for a period at least 30 days, but not exceeding 6 months. In the circumstances, management was in breach of the law.
Governor, your response?
Point of order, Chair. You are not on your mic, Governor. Pull it close to you, please.
The substantive County Chief Officer for Finance and Planning, who was appointed, was assigned other special duties assignment for a period exceeding 6 months. However, after completion of the assigned duties, he reverted back to his official position. Additionally, after the expiry of 6 months, there are several letters for extension There are several letters of extension the acting period. The County Chief Officer for Public Works assigned to vie for political office, and therefore the Director of Public Works, who was Job Group R, was elevated to act the County Chief Officer, Job Group S. However, as at the time of audit, the Acting Chief Officer of Public Works was within the permitted duration of 6 months. Currently, the county government has substantively filled all the county chief officer positions. See attached copies of contract extension letters and appointment letters, Appendix 14.
The first question was compliance with your HR policy and manual that states that recommendations for acting appointments shall be accompanied by a draft indent for advertisement of the vacancy and shall be forwarded to the County Public Service Board. Was that done?
Chair, it was not done.
It was not done. The second query is that the acting County Chief Officer of Finance and Economic Planning has been acting in this post for a period exceeding the permitted 6 months. For how long was the chief officer acting? It exceeded 6 months by how long?
Chair, maybe I can give my chief of staff finance to explain that. To explain more.
Officer, you are acting for how long?
Chairman, from November 2020 to after elections, around September 2022.
You are acting for 2 years.
Yeah,
So that was in breach of the law, obviously.
yes.
Senator Nyonka?
Governor, who is the chairman of your public service board?
My chairman for Public Service Board is called Mulela.
Are they here today?
No, they are not here today.
Anybody from the public service board is not here.
Is not here.
So why would you come here without the people that the query is directly addressing?
Honorable Senate is something which I have noted, and I'll take serious action on the same, Honorable Senate.
Who's your HR director?
HR Director, she's called Gertrude.
Is she here?
No, she's not here.
County secretary?
County Secretary is here.
Who's the head of the county public service, isn't it?
No, head of Public Service Board in as if he's independent, is called Mulela. He is County
The
Secretary. of the
job
county.
description of the county secretary is the head of the county public service.
Yeah, and they do
Where's the county secretary? Are you aware that you're the head of the county public service? Were you county secretary during this period? What is your take on having an officer acting for 2 years? What would you have done were you in office then?
Chair, I note that was highly irregular, and we should have advertised that position. But when the 6 months elapsed and there is no substantive officer appointed, it's supposed to be a renewal for a specific period.
So this was a renewal 4 times. You would have renewed 4 times.
No, that is highly irregular.
Through you, Chair, would you want to be in acting capacity for 2 years for any job?
Definitely no.
Have you advised Governor accordingly on the same?
Yes, we have done that.
Okay.
Fine. I think, guilty as charged. Senator Mtata?
The county secretary, which law are you referring to that allows you to renew more than once? Because the acting appointment is really 3 months. Then you can exceed to 6 months.
Yes.
So how do you say that after 6 months you renew? Which law are you referring to?
If they are,
What if the law? Tell me the law. Not what you want the law to be, but the law as it is today. Which one?
Chair, our HR policy, but that will not be, actually it will not be an extension, it will be another contract for acting. And it must-
Which section of your policy? Because the auditor has referred to section C14.4 of your county HR policy.
I can check and
That's a question Senator Mtata is asking. What's
yes,
your
yes, I can check and revert to him.
So be careful not to make roadside declarations. They must be grounded in law. Senator Mtata?
Yeah, because what I know is that the law only allows you to act for a maximum of 6 months. After that, somebody else is supposed to be appointed to act in that capacity. Otherwise, there will be a back door through which fellows will occupy public offices in an acting capacity forever. The law limits it to 6 months max.
And Clerk, this was part of the conversation we were supposed to have with this CS. Just confirm whether this was part of the issues that were to be discussed with the public service?
It was not one of them. Oh, the public service, yes.
Yeah, remember we had a long conversation
Yes,
with legal on this particular matter. So we had invited the IHRM and the CS for public service.
Treasury. The meeting in Mombasa?
No. The meeting
the one that
with Moses
aborted.
Kuria.
Yes. PS Public Service,
Yes.
HRM, Those two.
And it was on this issue of acting.
Yes.
Yeah, because some counties were saying that they are not bound by the Public Service Commission's recommendations. But here, Taita-Taveta has their own policy. So you have domesticated your policy. Because there was an argument that the Public Service Commission does not reach out to counties and other independent institutions. So you are supposed to get a proper legal understanding, but it should not be a problem with Taita-Taveta because already you have adopted your own policies and manuals. So I think this is irregular. It is now upon us to prescribe what ought to be done. Was it a problem with the officer? Officer, you are here, we are discussing you. Are you the problem? Are you the reason why this was extended endlessly?
No, Chairman.
What were the reasons or circumstances from the best of your memory?
The substantive CCO had not gotten back to his position.
He had gone out to vie for politics.
No, he was acting in lands.
Who had gone out to vie for politics? I've seen somewhere here you have talked of someone.
Public Works.
That was Public Works.
Yes.
So, what is the name of the substantive officer? What's the name of the substantive officer?
Chief Officer was.
Yes, who was that?
Leonard Langat.
Is he currently with the...
No.
And what is these special duties he's supposed to? He's working?
Mr. Chairman, I wouldn't know because that was not me who...
Maybe there is a misappropriation of money or records. Governor, what is these special things he's doing on another department, not the finance?
It was on land. I think the more...
What is his professional?
Sorry?
Is he an accountant or...
He is an accountant.
Then why is he not in because when he's in finance, he's in a good place to work on. So what is the reason he's taken to the land?
Chair, it was really a problem, but now onwards, we are really on qualifications. If you're an accountant, you should be working in accounts. If you're a procurement, you should be in procurement. But by then, that was a mistake because somebody has done accounts, he doesn't know matters of land. But right now, we are trying to fix people according to their professionals.
I think it has been established that the law was breached. It is now upon us as a committee to make our recommendations. Invalid performance bonds, Auditor General, this is still outstanding?
Yes, Chair, it's still outstanding.
So you still contend that the performance bonds did not cover the contract durations?
Until the project stalled, not enough performance bond, then they didn't have a recourse to claim their liability.
Up to now.
We've not verified as to the... I've not verified the current
You're
situation.
saying that the securities expired despite the projects still ongoing?
It had not been completed, Chair.
Were the projects ongoing or the projects had stalled?
They are ongoing, this specific project.
Okay, Governor, what's your response?
Construction of banana processing plant. There was performance bond in place, but the project is stalled due to lack of funds and the contractor was not on site. The project period was for financial year 2018/2019 and the performance bond was valid then. See attached copy of contract and performance bond appendix 15A. Construction of banana collection centers. The project is complete. See attached copy of performance bond and completion certificate appendix 15B. Construction of Kwabanyika and Shanga integrated project. The project is complete. See attached copy of performance bond and completion certificate appendix 15C. But my officer Amos and Leweri, they can expand more on this because that's
Before they expound, Auditor, looking at that response and the appendices A, B, and C, does that address your query?
Chair, the issue that is not addressed is the bond was not valid by the time we are auditing. The date of the bond, even what has been attached now. But because the project is complete, we have a duty to verify whether it's complete and verify those certificates.
Okay, what do you want to explain? What does your team want to explain?
Amos, you can explain more.
It is true that by the time of audit, the performance bonds were not valid, but the banana processing plant had stalled, and there was no extension. And if it was extension, that's when we could have asked for maybe the extension of the performance bond. And for Kawanyika project, during the time of audit, it was the performance bond was the other extension was not provided for verification, but it has been attached there because just before at around March, it was extended so that to cover the overall contract period.
So who's telling the truth? You are saying there is no problem. The Auditor General says there is a problem.
Yeah, we admit that during the time of audit, they are not valid.
Okay, fine. So I think that's what you should have said. We agree with the Auditor General. However, because you are appearing to be defensive here,
No.
we would have moved on to the next issue. So you agree with the Auditor General, but in mitigation, you are saying some of the projects were subsequently completed.
Yeah.
Fine. Members, I think we will take that and make our decisions at report writing. Next is breach of conditional grants agreement. Now, we are going to look at that alongside because the issue there is similar to issue number 5, Kenya Climate Smart Agriculture Project, GOK counterpart funds. And the problem here is you've got access to these conditional grants, you are required to co-finance, but you do not put in your share, and therefore you lose out on the funding that is available. So let's start with this World Bank project of 1.4 billion. You are required to contribute 90 million for 4 projects. Governor, did you put you put in your contribution of 90 million?
Let me give this chief officer to respond to that.
Chair, this did not happen because it was due to unrealized revenues in on-source revenues.
So, if you didn't put in the 90 million, what was the opportunity cost? How much did you lose? You had to put in 90 million, and the World Bank financing was supposed to bring in a certain amount. So what was the loss to Taita-Taveta? Auditor General, were you able to cite the opportunity cost? So for the 90 million, what was Taita supposed to get? I don't think it was the 1.4 billion. Were they supposed to get 1.4 billion for 90 million?
Chair, we may not be able to give the amount exactly, but the position of the funds that were to be the counter funds of those projects that were donor funded will give us a better direction.
Thank you.
Senator Onyonka.
Governor, we were in Mombasa about 2 months ago, and your county's name came up. All right, whether it was Kenya Urban Financing, whether it was the issue of Kenya, all this money that is coming from the donor community, including the environment money. Money for the environment, Chair, is it FOCA? Sorry, FLOCA. Yes, it's FLOCA. The only amount you are supposed to have given FLOCA is actually 10 million. And you had been assigned something like 468 million. I want to ask you, who is your CEC environment? Do you have a CEC who's in charge of an environment, or a CEO, somebody from the executive?
Yes, Honorable Senator, we have CCO for environment. She's called Eliza Mbinga, but I've been strictly to CCO Finance to fund, to provide the counter funding of such kind of projects. And he's here, if maybe can give us what exactly.
Just wait, Governor. You are taking me where I didn't want to go, but I can still go there. You are CC. The reason why I was asking somebody in charge of the environment, they should be giving you the blueprint on, not even just on the environment, on all the donor funds. There must be somebody in your office who will be able to tell you, we are talking to UNICEF, we are talking to Kenya Urban Support Program, World Bank Project, we are talking to the national, you are talking to whoever that you are talking to. What disappointed me when we were in Mombasa, and I was aware that your senator was also out of the country. That is the reason why, imagine I was the one defending your county. None of your ministers were there, none of your officers were there, all the other officers were there. And the distance from Kisii and the distance from Taveta to Mombasa, you see who came from far. That's the point I'm raising. That these things need to be taken much more seriously. I believe that Taita-Taveta, given all the statistics and data that you have on your poverty eradication, health, circumstance, and all that, you should be able to get close to 3 to 4 billion shillings, which is the money that you are talking about that you need.
Now, I think that's for emphasis. What we need to contextualize is the opportunity lost. And I hope that needs to be quantified so that Senator Maruma can tell the people of Taita-Taveta that we refuse to put in 90 million, which could have afforded us 600 million. Because sometimes we make decisions that we could call silly decisions. You're required to put in a small amount so that you get a bigger amount. But I'm seeing some appendices you have put there. Is this you trying to justify that going forward you are making your contributions?
Yeah, Chair, for sure, they are blaming me, but I think in the entire all countries, the person who is trying to do counterfunding, most at the moment it's me, because I know our equitable share is very small. And we have been trying, in fact, this scenario which our Honorable Senator, in fact, for sure, I've really taken note of what Honorable Onyonka has said.
But Governor,
but we are trying at the moment.
For purposes of time,
yeah,
I'm seeing you've got an Appendix 16A.
Yes, we are trying to fund.
Is this justification that you have made your contributions to FLOCA?
Yes. Yes.
Fine. So I think let's leave it at that. But we are concerned that during that financial year, you could not take advantage of these funds. And remember, it is these senators that fight for those resources, because they cannot come unless they go through Parliament as additional allocations to county governments. Last week, we were fighting for additional funds to county governments. We secured 9 billion shillings more. But these ones, for donor funds, they are loans that if you don't tap into them, Kenyans pay all the same. So I'm happy that you have demonstrated that going forward, you are doing what is required. Now, look at issue number 5, Kenya Climate Smart Agriculture Project. You were supposed to contribute 20%. There was a shortfall of another 90 million. So there was 90 million shortfall in the World Bank project. There was another 90 million shortfall under Kenya Climate Smart Agriculture Project. So I think that the point we must make is that when you make those decisions, you are denying the people of Taita-Taveta access to resources, but you are costing the country because these monies are loans that we all have to pay. So I think, members, we just take note that there was that indiscipline during that time, and then in mitigation, the fact that now going forward the county is making the matching contributions. So that will apply to issue number 3 and number 5. Issue number 4, irregular ex gratia payment. I'd really like to see this attached authority, Appendix 17. You paid 1.5 million for medical bills for an MCA who ideally should be covered under the county assembly medical scheme. Now you are citing an executive order. Members, this is interesting. Payment of 1.2 million pending hospital bill for the late Ronald Habel Sagurani. Governor, where is the authority? That is a question. Where is the authority? Authority means budget.
Yes.
Budget means approval.
Chair, in the first place, we are wrong in that it was a very bad, but according to that response, it seems there's that Appendix 17, but it was
Appendix
irregular.
17 is addressed to Pandya Memorial Hospital by CC Finance. So the CC Finance made this unilateral decision to pay the expenses.
Chair, it was a very wrong move.
I'm
Very regular, Chair.
guilty as charged, and this is why in the new constitutional dispensation, this kind of roadside declarations are not acceptable. Even in the event of death, there needs to be some formalization. I think we dealt with this in Kakamega, where the governor decided to send some millions to West Pokot because there was a landslide, and they just decreed. That's wrong. These are the integrity issues, some low-hanging integrity issues that EACC should be recommending for prosecution. This one was wrong. This one was illegal. This one cannot be explained. So we agree with the Auditor General on that, and we shall be pronouncing ourselves accordingly. Undetermined legal costs, Auditor General, is that still a problem?
The county executive have agreed on the observation, and they've taken positive measures going forward. But the situation is towards that year stands.
Have you implemented the provisions of the County Attorneys Act? Do you have a county attorney?
Yes, county attorney take care of it.
Chair, we are in the process. We have recruited the county solicitor, and we are still building the structures. We are restricted by budget, but we are trying to do that.
What is your approved staff establishment within that department?
Chair, that one is to be done in consultation with the County Public Service Board.
It has not been done?
It has not been done because there is no budget for the staff to be recruited.
No, but staff establishment is a plan.
Yeah, we are in the process of creating the organogram for the county attorneys. And
what is your desired establishment? Assuming budget was not a limitation, what would you, county attorney, want to see?
Okay, we have. I would like to have the director, the county attorney, county solicitor, then the director legal services, and below that structure, the different legal counsel dealing with the legislative issues and policy issues, then the others who deal with the litigation issues and litigation issues and also the commercial issues.
And out of that, you only have the county attorney?
And the county solicitor.
So do you think you are properly structured to deliver for Taita-Taveta?
No, Chair, but we are restricted by the budget.
Particularly having gone through these land issues, many of which will end up in court.
Yeah, because of that, Chair, we are relying mostly on the external advocates. We give instruction to external advocates and we supervise as we continue with the restructuring.
Governor, do you have a view of the cases that your government is facing in court?
Yes, Chair, especially on land.
Do you know how many there are?
I can't tell exactly how many there are, but the quite a number.
The gentlemen on your left and right are supposed to disclose contingent liabilities. Was there disclosure of contingent liabilities in this year?
Chief Finance Officer.
Contingent liabilities would include litigation in progress. County Attorney?
Yes, the status of the legal cases on especially the one for land and environment. Currently we have 17 cases, and the policy in what we do in the county government of Taita-Taveta, we, after a case has been concluded, that's when we pay the legal fees. We don't pay upfront.
Yeah, of course, it's not about paying. That's why we're talking of disclosure of contingent liabilities. Now, you need to talk to the accountants to explain to you what that means, because you have to tell them what these 17 cases are and an estimate of if the likely cost.
Unguided, Chair.
There is a gentleman sitting in front of you who has been responding on these financial statements. Did you disclose contingent liabilities in this financial year?
Chair, thank you, Chair. Okay, the county attorney is now preparing the status report.
So you did not disclose it?
Yes.
Now, Governor, you must demand for that. You must know which cases are in court and an estimate of the likely implication. Because some governors have realized that if all the cases they were to lose, their counties would be auctioned, for lack of a better word. Because the liability arising from litigation in progress is so huge. Uasin Gishu, land cases alone, if you look at the register, Nairobi, the matters in court are far much more than their annual budget. So I think you must demand, and Auditor General, you must also, in doing your audits, insist that that disclosure is made. Senator,
maybe just to comment, I think you should visit your neighbors, Kwale. They have a more structured and well-established office of the county attorney. I think they are doing very well, and you can borrow organogram that they have already. So make sure you visit, it will assist, because I think as you also sit in the cabinet of governor, at least each and every department should have at least director of legal services or somebody legal to assist in many things. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Senator Maruma?
Yeah, Chair, we need to know how the pending bills were treated. There's a long story here which I can't read. The 48 million, is it part of the pending bills payable? And then the 24 million, Chair, if the account was overcharged, is it there a recourse, like maybe reporting this lawyer or a law firm which got more money than they were supposed to get? Is there a way of reporting them to the regulating body, that is the law side of Kenya, so that that money is returned? Thank you, Chair.
Okay, let's take Senator Nyonka's question as well.
The answer would respond to my brother, because it's something we've been experiencing. Is you would have to, I think the chair and the committee will make a recommendation to EACC so that we are able to follow up. Your Excellency Governor, and you know how much respect I have for you, because I've been with you in Parliament and we've been there for quite a while. For me, I would want to make a suggestion that please figure out a way on how you don't have to invent anything new. Look at the counties that are around you and get a team that can benchmark for you. I see gaps I see a lot of gaps. In fact, I'm sure that Taita-Taveta doesn't have even an internal auditor. Do you? You have an internal auditor.
We have one. In fact, very powerful because I empowered them.
Thank you. That's shocked me. So can we cover these gaps that are making you have these issues? Because you see, when your attorney says that according to him, the cases are being won, after they're won is when you pay. There's a problem there, and I'll explain to you quietly why that doesn't make sense. So I hope that whatever recommendations we make from here, please follow up. I see that your executive has got very, very big gaps on the officers who are advising you on what needs to be done. Number two, I beg you, my brother, please listen to your officers. They are the ones who can put you ndani ya maji ama they take you ndani kutoka huko kwa maji. Tafadhali kwa heshima, gavana wangu.
Obliged. But already we have Onogra, which is moving on, which we are trying to copy from other counties. The best, like the way Honorable Chargia said, the one for Kwale, I think we shall go and borrow a leaf from there as we are preparing the program for the Taita-Taveta county.
Now, the thing you didn't attach here was a breakdown of the 24 million. It was for various cases.
Yes, Chair.
Was it one?
It's various cases.
Do we have anywhere where you've broken down who the advocates were and what the matter was and how much was charged?
I don't have the information.
Yeah,
yet.
then this response is incomplete without that, because there are some advocates who are notorious, and so even the question raised by Senator Mwaruma, we cannot take action if we do not see who charged what for a matter, because what you have given us here is just the usual citation of advocates' remuneration order. So can you provide the Auditor General with a breakdown of the 24 million, showing the firm, showing the matter, the case number, and the amount?
Noted, Chair.
Is the second limb of my question, if the 48 million is part of the amount in the pending bills payable, or if you will not pay. Have you made a decision on that?
Chair.
Yes, proceed.
Yeah, Chair, the 48 million is part of the pending bill payable.
But your pending bills on legal fees was higher. It was almost 98 million.
And why are you paying yet it was overcharged? Are you renegotiating?
Yes, Chair, we have instructed advocates to send their draft bill of costs, and with that I'll be able to compare that with the advocate remuneration order and charge reasonable fees.
In your payable list, you have 68.9 million as legal service bills, which implies that you have already verified and accepted to pay. I'm going back to the report on pending bills on page 17. 68.999 as legal service bill, which is on the payable list.
Chair,
has that 68 been paid? 68.9 million?
No, Chair.
For what reason? For the reasons of lack of funds, or for the reasons of non-agreement on the amount?
For reasons of lack of fund, and also for reasons that we need to negotiate with the advocates on the reasonable fees.
Then they should have been put under the deferred list. I thought that was the explanation you gave us, that what is payable, what's on that row of payable has already been verified.
We stand guided, Chair.
I think Senator Mwaruma, we have seen that this is one way that public resources are squandered, and we'll keep an eye on this. We want to do a special inquiry on legal fees, particularly looking at Nairobi, Kisumu. In Kisumu, we've got a matter, a big matter that's pending. We are seeing it coming up now in Taita-Taveta. We saw it in Kilifi. I think it was quite big in Kilifi. So we intend to do a special inquiry on legal fees across the county governments. So that matter cannot be resolved. If you go next to breach of fiscal policy, Auditor, Senator Mariam.
I can see they are including legal fee as other operating expenditure. I don't know if you have raised that one when you are. So they have to, because legal fees are standard law. It's not other expenditure, other operating expenditure.
Yeah, so in terms of the manner in which they report
yes,
in the financial statements.
yes.
Auditor General, where should legal fees be classified?
Chair, as you had pointed earlier, it will be pointed as under legal expenses. However, it's a pending bill. If you realize the county template does not have a place to pay pending bills, so all other payments, that when you said it should be well analyzed, is where legal fees is paid if it's understanding.
Because, Chair, if they don't treat it as a legal fees cost, that's why they have not disclosed as contagious. If they have shown in the phase of financial statement as a legal cost, they would have go ahead and make a disclosure as a contagious liability. Maybe they are hiding there, that's why you cannot, until you maybe peruse through, that you can see the legal fee there.
Yeah, so I think that's something you keep an eye on, Auditor, the manner in which they disclose that expenditure, it needs to be consistent, because I believe in the chart of accounts, there's a provision for legal fees. It cannot just sit under other operating expenses. Now, we need to close this financial year 2022. There's a breach of fiscal policy. Auditor General, we said that we need to revise the base so that it's the total revenue received in CRF rather than the equitable share. But all the same, even if you took the total revenue of, what was your total revenue this year, Governor? No, in this financial year. 4.7 excludes OSR and conditional grants. So when you put all that together?
Our budget was 7 billion, 7.2.
That is budget, but what was realized?
Realized amount, last financial year.
In this financial year?
This financial year, what has been realized?
No. This financial year that you're looking at, 2021, 2022.
Share is about 5 billion, 5.1. Own source of 315, and equitable share of 4.7.
So it was how much in total?
5.1.
5.1 billion.
Yes.
So 4.7 equitable share, on source revenue of
3.15, 315 million, that is.
And conditional grants? There was a 1.4 billion grant. So I think, Auditor, just rework the base so that, because the percentage will change from 59, but it's still above 35%. It's still unhealthy. Yeah, it's still unhealthy. So I think we will deal with that when you're doing our report. On citizen participation, we will take note. I think we'll take the written responses, but just to report that currently Parliament is going through the sessional paper on public policy. Senator Omtata, you're in the committee that is considering that sessional paper. So will it provide additional clarity to county governments on citizen participation in planning and budgeting, or it has nothing new? Maybe be on record.
From the remarks I've seen, it's like it is curtailing public participation, and we are proposing some radical changes to it, which we hope will address that concern.
Okay.
That's all, Chair.
Fine. So we'll take the written responses on this, but I also like this audit observation. We always need to make sure that planning and budgeting is aligned to the Constitution. Number 9, failure to implement recommendations of oversight bodies. I don't think that there can be any explanation on this. We shall take the written responses and provide appropriate recommendations. Number 10 also, affirmative action on gender, ethnicity, and regional distribution. I believe, Governor, you agree with the finding? Yeah, I agree. Fine, fine. So we'll take your written responses on that. On stalled projects. Now, stalled projects, let's first get to the end of, let's hold on to stalled projects a bit and go to controls, risk management, and governance. Failure to establish and operationalize an audit committee. Is that in place now, Governor? Audit committee?
CEO Finance.
Yes, Chair, we can confirm the audit committee is in place.
Where our land sits. but you don't expect the same of motor vehicles. That should be the easiest thing to do. If you don't have a proper asset register for motor vehicles, how do you get insurance in the first place? Because you must provide a schedule with those details to the insurance company. So I think there's some casualness, Governor, that you must deal with on this. This is the easiest thing to resolve. Can I hear you give directives to your team on that, Governor?
Chair, I hereby give directives to my officers to move on very fast and get this registered, at least registered somewhere. Though there is a process of ongoing, I should develop and attach an officer in each and every department so that you can come up with the answers. So it's something which is ongoing.
That's how you give instructions, Governor.
Yeah, but by 1 month, so everything should be ready. Each and every department, we should have the assets of each and every department.
Now, to avoid roadside declarations like the one we have seen, we expect that in the next 14 days, you will do a memo to all departmental heads or to the relevant officers and copy it to the Assembly and the Senate. That would be the only way we can determine your seriousness of this.
Obliged, Chair.
Now, honorable members,
maybe I wanted just to advise the governor, this is pro bono. The reason I look at the Constitution 2010, the reason we even insisted that any cabinet communication must be in writing was to avoid roadside declaration. So it is better if you can create a memo and communicate to departments for neatness and decency. Thank you.
The big issue that is still outstanding that cuts across both reports is projects. Now, there are a lot of projects, and the Auditor General talks about insufficient project records, unsatisfactory implementation of projects in certain departments. And for projects, sometimes it's not good just to tell a story. I know Senator Maruma has been lobbying hard for the Senate to convene in Taita-Taveta and a Senate Mashinani program. And we support his push. We would love to come to Taita-Taveta and bring the Senate down there. Will also give us an opportunity to go around and have a look at some of the projects that you have implemented. I am sure the County Assembly, because you live in the county, in your report, you have thoroughly analyzed all these projects. In the morning, when we were getting the brief from the Auditor General, I think a lot of issues were flagged with regards to projects and the fact that some of them were incomplete, and the fact that we were not getting appropriate information from the county executive. I want to propose, Auditor General, because in the next couple of months, you will be doing your year-end audit, that the issue of project management and project execution, you keep an eye on it so that you can update us. These projects that have been cited throughout in the last 2 or 3 financial year statements, what is the current status? It's very difficult to resolve project issues in Nairobi. We tried doing that with Marsabit. The Auditor General told us the fish processing plant in Loyangalani was complete, only to find that the fish processing plant has been swallowed by Lake Turkana. So it's very academic to resolve projects in Nairobi. And that's where we want the County Assembly to play their primary oversight role. But I think it would be a good plan for us to come to Taita-Taveta, either through the Senate Mashinani or through just a committee activity for us to sample a few projects. Senator Maruma, is there any project in these 2 financial years that is of great concern that you'd wish us to focus on?
Chair, there's one that is not mentioned here. and I would want the county government to just complete and open. It's not here, it's a dispensary in Lumi dispensary, Lumi Health Center. It's complete, it's built. There are no windows, there are no doors. Put the windows, put the doors, put the equipment. Those people are suffering. I think that's the one that I would want to be looked at. And then there's a borehole in Mpakani. Mpakani is in Taita-Taveta, at the border of Jukini and Tanzania, with very good water. That water from 2015 has not been abstracted. Go and abstract that water and distribute it to people. Those two, if you do them, I'd be happy.
Okay, so we agree that for projects, we allow the Auditor General to carry out a proper review. And unless you are ready, unless you have a proper report, because I know there's an appendix here which we had made a decision to expunge.
Chair, the issue of project, as we mentioned earlier, is something that we need to verify fiscally. You may have all the reports that, as you've said, you cannot conclude on paper. We need to visit and confirm.
Yeah, and we must bring to your attention that there was an appendix here that we found to be fairly useless to our proceedings.
It
was
one,
appendix
the
what?
last 15. But that one was on 2020.
That was 2020, 2021, but I think it is the one that had been used to respond to 2021, 2022. You've got a listing of projects, but there's no comma, there's no remarks. The column on remarks is blank, so it is not useful to us. That was Appendix 10K in 2020, 2021. Please do not submit that kind of supporting documentation to Senate again. And it was also not provided to the Auditor General before this meeting. Auditor General?
I confirm that the appendixes we have, we didn't have that 10K, something like that.
So we are giving you an opportunity to do a proper project update. Now, even if you are feuding with Makueni of on-source revenue, you might need to go there and see what they are doing as far as project and program management is concerned. I think they've launched a portal where you can go and click of a button. You are able to see the status of each and every project across the county. You don't need to go to Dubai to benchmark on those kind of things. You can see it in Makueni. It started during the time of Kivutha Kibwana, and I saw the current governor has made certain improvements on them, because that you lack that discipline in Taita-Taveta. So, Governor, send your officers to Makueni.
Noted, but also look for counties. Just look at what Makueni is getting and what Taita is getting in terms of. And I want to do very many things like that one. Even the other day we have been discussing it. But none is a problem to this county.
Governor, you can achieve that through an Excel spreadsheet. You don't need to procure.
Blame the governor. I mean, Senator.
Why do you think of budget every time something is mentioned?
It's because, you know, I had a big dream for the country, but the expectations where after going in, it is totally different from what I saw. In fact, right now,
are you indirectly handing over to Senator Maruma?
Chair, you see, we say we should be talking truth. And to me, I believe in talking truth. And I'm sure in talking truth, we shall move forward. And I'm sure even Senator Maruma in the next 1 year, you'll forget about thinking about governorship.
And stop scaring Senator Maruma.
Chair, could I just, maybe this will be my last comment, Chair.
Maybe he's fearing him to come after him.
Senator Maruma doesn't want your job. If you do it well, he'll not bother you.
But some of us know otherwise.
No, I'm providing you know, Governor Madime, you know, you are a classmate with me in Parliament, the last, I think, 10th Parliament, 9th Parliament. Don't worry about him. These are my last comments. I see the challenges you face. I see the issues that are you are engaged with. I see where you are. I just want to say, try your level best to get people who know how to manage the crisis that you have. And number one, look at these three people you see here. These are your friends. The Auditor General, they are not your enemies. Just like us, we are not attacking you or criticizing you or whatever. We are just saying you can do it better. We understand the issues. We know you want more money. But me, I always say this, before I give you more money, show me that the little you have, you are actually utilizing it well. If you do that, we'll give you anything you want. Thank you, sir.
Senator Nyonka, you are fond of doing vote of thanks before meetings are over. When you get hungry, yes, you make closing remarks, yes, so that you can go and eat.
I'm very hungry.
But I think for the financial year 2020-2021, there are a lot of cross-cutting issues, asset register, projects, HR, budget, discipline. So we'll take the written responses, but the recommendations and our directives will be consistent with what we have discussed in the financial year ended 30th June 2022. We will definitely have another conversation on the receiver of revenue statements, because today we did not deal with the issues of on-source revenue, because the receiver of revenue statement was separated from the county executive. And there are a few issues that we didn't touch on that related to the financial statements, and we've agreed we will only deal with them once we have done the meeting with the Treasury, which we scheduled to hold on Thursday. Honorable members, I think that will bring us to the end of this very long meeting. And if there are closing remarks from honorable senators, or if you wish to donate to Senator Jones Mwaruma, fine. So I think I like to have the governor make his closing remarks, and then the senator will close. Governor?
Well, thank you, Chair. You know, it's an eye-opening. You know, when we interact with you, when you come for these audit queries, I take them positively. Especially for this session of today, I've learned a lot from the questions which was coming from your side, and also from the response of Auditor General. You know, this is a learning process. As my colleague, Senator Nyonka, you used to be in Parliament. You see, there are quite a number of things which you have to learn. And all what you have talked today, I am sure you'll see big changes in future. In terms of competence, which you have really talked about it, it is something which I also go into details and see if at times to look for even consultants to advise me, not using counting money, just advising me just the way you're advising me here, and try to see to change the country. And actually I've learned a lot from this session, but also on your side, we are trying as much as we can. Like the revenue, we never used to have above 30 million. Right now we are talking about 55, 56 million. We are trying to open projects which can be generating income. I've been agitating for the servo, though the mathematics as if is not working, so that at least we can be getting some revenue out of servo. And also royalties and minerals, we have been trying. And I'm sure this country in the near future, it will change. Though, on being elected, what I expected is not what I've seen on the ground. There are so many problems. In last administration, there are so many problems in terms of staff, in terms of even projects, in terms of using money legally. There are so many loopholes that we are trying to rectify everything. Because right now I've achieved, even the morale of staff is different from what I got. And I'm sure together we shall move ahead and assist Taita-Taveta County. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Governor. The one thing that I forgot to mention is that the EACC carried out a corruption risk assessment of Taita-Taveta County Executive, but it was way back in 2018. Governor, have you seen this report of the EACC, the corruption risk assessment report?
I've not seen it. Chair.
EACC, what would be your advice to the governor? Because this is a very comprehensive report which the governor needs to make some commitments on.
Thank you, Chair. The corruption assessment report was presented to the county government, but the same can be availed, a copy maybe, so that the governor can be appraised of some of the issues, most of which are recurring based on the deliberations that have been before the committee today. So another copy can be availed.
Yeah, please avail a copy to the governor, and governor will expect you within 3 months to do an update on measures taken. If it was in 2018, maybe some things have changed. But it's important to go on record, to put it on record, on the improvements that have been made since EACC did this report.
Chair, I've not gone through the report, but after getting the report, maybe I'll go through and see how we can, maybe what we are doing is not right, we change.
Yes.
But even I personally, at one time I wrote a letter to the ethics and corruption, so that they can come and sail through my people down there, to know that corruption is not a good thing for themselves and for the entire county citizens in general.
Yeah, so at our next meeting, we'll also be asking for evidence of action that has been taken on this corruption risk assessment by EACC. Senator Maruma, in closing.
Yeah, thank you, Chair, and I would like to thank the governor and team for availing themselves for this session, where you come to account for the funds that we fight for and bring to the counties. The Chair has already alluded to the fact that we really fought for more money to come to counties. From 385 billion, the members of National Assembly had passed DORA to have 391 billion, but we pushed through mediation and we took it to 400 billion for you, Governor, and your team. Spend the money prudently so that we can have goods and services coming closer to the people. There are some low-lying fruits, even as we cry, that we don't have adequate money, but there's a lot of things that we can do. There are so many things that we can do to improve on our own source revenue, which I have not seen us doing. In the EACC corruption risk assessment report, we were told to automate our revenue collection. Have we done that? I don't think that our revenue is fully